that's evolved through the database for the last few vintages. What's interesting to note about this particular year is that it's slightly drier than previous years. But Malcom, one of the things that I noticed quite forcibly on this trip was there's a lot of people taking Gris, putting a percentage of it into oak to try and find a different kind of flavour and structure. And a lot of them are going to the sweeter side of the Gris, which for me, from a commercial point of view, I think my consumers might have a tough time with that. There's a kind of bias that comes with these aromatic wines where they get, certainly in the Singapore and expat market, when the wines start to go towards that sweet flavour profile, there's a definite purchasing bias about it. Do you find that here in New Zealand as well?
We generally find that consumers say they don't want something that's sweet, but when they go to buy it,
they taste the wine.
Yeah, exactly right. So, this Pinot Gris, there's a lot of people making Pinot Gris here in Central Otago, and there's a lot of people still trying to define their style or refine their style. And the first Pinot Gris I ever made was the Rockburn in 06, and so this is only the fourth vintage I've been making Pinot Gris, and every year I'm tweaking it, trying to find better expression and more refined style. So getting closer now, but we sit at around this 10 gram residual sugar mark, which works well with this wine and balances the acid. We've created a very seamless, very harmonious palate, lifts the fruit, creates a little more texture on the palate. We're not sort of achieving the unctuous Alsatian style of Gris with our site, but we're certainly a long way away from the very linear, if not bland, style of Pinot Grigio.
Now this is exciting. I usually take the liberty of describing to people who haven't had it before as something in between a Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay.
Sure.
It's giving you a lot more zing, acid kind of component than a Chardonnay traditionally will give you, but a lot more flavour, particularly on the mid and back palate, that the Chardonnay will give you. So that seems to have struck a chord with the database.
It's really nice and fruity, and people just love that. Especially this 2010, very, very expressive on the nose, and it's a little scary in that respect. It's very, very upfront. But then it's got this beautiful seamless palate behind it, and it's drinking beautifully right now. This is one of the better Pinot Gris I've made, and they're only going to keep getting better. Every year I figure out something else. So.
In the cellaring issue of it, one of the things that I've loved is as we've got to the end of 8 and 9, they've just developed a lot more character. Quite rapidly, actually, 3-4 months, they suddenly become something different, and I love it.
There's an evolutionary profile that they follow, and it's a more compact sort of progression than in like a Riesling or a Pinot. So it does its thing over sort of 3 or 4 years. But certainly after a year or so, I tend to prefer them because they've settled down a bit, they've harmonised even further, and not as overt.